And now...
Me. Thanks, Gary. Hello, I'm Joe Cocker's Spaniel. This is Cruff's freestyle group, and that is Fallen Leaves live in session with Did You See Her? Wow, that was absolutely blistering. I'm very, very loud in the studio, Rob Guitar. I'm not asking you to turn it down, don't worry. Do you know, people come in here and they say, oh, can we have the amps on all right? Is it acoustic? They say, no, turn it as loud as you like. And you've gone for it tonight, haven't you?
I think it's just the way I hit the guitar, really, rather than the amplifier. Yeah, I just hit the thing.
You do. Do you know what I've seen repeatedly? Sorry, Fallen Leaves live in session. Rob on guitar, I'm speaking to at the moment. You say repeatedly you can't play the guitar, therefore you are quite patently a dirty, rotten liar.
Well, if you notice on that song and probably on the other songs we do as well, I only hold one chord shape.
That's all you need.
And I can't really... I mean, if I heard something and you say, can you play it? I couldn't play it. But when we write our own songs, I couldn't do anyone else's, then I can play it because it's one chord and we move it up and down. And
all right, well, do you know what? Cards on the table. So, Rob, you were a founder member of the Subway Sect.
The original, yeah.
Yeah, all right then. And the original one, very important. Yeah, you had to get that in, didn't you? But a lot of guys who played in the bands at that time, you know, they could play brilliantly at what they were doing themselves, but couldn't really, you know, a lot of guys from that era, if you were to say to them, oh, why don't you just launch into, I don't know, any other particular garage tune, they wouldn't necessarily be able to do it because they learned the guitar to do what they wanted to do with punk, didn't they? Which is what you did, is that right?
We just learned it for our own songs, yeah. We didn't really know anything about music or anything. Yeah. I mean, Vic always said that the Sex Pistols sort of stumbled through a middle eight. The Clash, you know, just blasted without knowing what middle eight was. And we just couldn't play at all, so we didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, you know, I would disagree with all of that, much as I love Vic Goddard, and we are talking about that. So, Rob Singer.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. How are you doing?
Not too bad, Mark. How are you?
I'm all right. And
Good.
you know, because you were over in the corner before, couldn't see you, and obviously lead singer syndrome. If you can't see me, the disc jockey, there would be serious trouble.
Right.
So I moved you over a little bit, right beside that loud guitar. So if you couldn't hear yourself quite as well as you would have liked, I apologise profusely.
No, that's normal. That's fine.
Right. Okay. You're used to it by now, aren't you?
We are. Yeah.
Introduce the band. We've already met Rob guitar, obviously.
Okay. And on drums we have Ian O'Sullivan, ex-member of the group called the Aardvarks, mod group. He doesn't like me mentioning that.
No.
Anyway, lovely chap. And on bass we have Matthew Carras, who's very kindly stood in for us because our other bass player rather selfishly has gone off to have a baby.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it a female bass player or?
No, it's a male bass player. Yeah.
Okay.
Lovely chap.
Right. Okay.
He'll be back.
Gareth.
He's called Gareth.
He's called Gareth. And he'll be back.
Yeah, I think he might be upset if you just call him lovely chap.
Yeah.
You know? We need to mention Gareth most certainly. Shelley and Phil in Brighton have been on. Hi, brilliant to hear the Fallen Leaves on your show. We've seen them live several times since 2006. Please could you ask Rob Green what's in his flask during Shining? He'll know what we mean. Go on then, spill the beans. It's not beans in there. I'm not suggesting that it is, but what is it?
It's tea. I like a nice cup of tea with my tea.
You do, because do you know what? I mean, as I've always said on this programme, you know, I'm not allowed to lie, but the bands are. But what did you say to me when you walked into the bar before and I had a nice cup of tea?
I said, it looks like a nice cup of tea.
You did, right. I am his witness. So, Truth Radio. We wouldn't have it any other way. So the Fallen Leaves are back in the room. They're going to do a tune for us now, and then we'll have a chat. What's this next one going to be?
This one's called Sylvie Says. It warns against the dangers of mixing telephone calls with vodka.
Ooh.
Your world is upside down, that's why we start to fall. From this atmosphere, it bounce and roll. How much did you drink before you made your call? Your world is upside down, that's why we start to fall. You drink and die. Your Nazi gold was stolen all throughout the war. Now you have the virus, for there is no cure. But all you say that it's not funny anymore. Your world is upside down, that's why we start to fall. You drink and die. Drink and die.
Just brilliant, and I'm not at all surprised. The Fallen Leaves live in session with Sylvie Says. So how did... well, it's the two Robs originally in this lineup, particularly tonight, who formed the band, wasn't it? Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
You both seem
I don't know
very...
which one you're talking to.
Yeah, neither of you seem to want to take the blame then. But so how did you know each other in the first place?
Well, I used to share a flat with Vic, who was the singer in the Subway Sex, and then Rob got kicked out of his own group, and then Rob and I wrote a few songs together. And there was a plan a long time ago. Funny you just played Orange Juice. There was a plan a long time ago that we might link up with them, but anyway, I think we had other things on our mind at the time.
Stephen Daly. That was
that his
James
name?
Kirk. Yeah.
Right.
So it was Sam.
Stephen Daly and James Kirk. They contacted us.
All right, because Stephen Daly now,
out,
Stephen Daly is now a really, really well-respected American journalist who writes.
We've only recently found this out.
Have you?
Vanity Fair or something.
Vanity Fair. He does a lot of the cover stories for Vanity Fair and stuff. Yeah, and well, a great band. That was my favourite incarnation of Orange Juice. But you just mentioned then Rob Singer.
Yeah.
That Rob Guitar got booted out of his own group, and this story is here. It says after releasing one record, Nobody's Scared, Subway Sect, and recording an infamous unreleased LP, which we've discussed on this programme before, Vic was approached by Bernie Rhodes, the Clash manager, with £25 to break up the group and go solo with him. He did. Is that right?
That's absolutely true. Yeah, well, Rob will corroborate it because Rob was living with Vic at the time. But,
yeah, I'm sure Vic would as well.
Bernie was at that time. I think the Clash was sort of half leaving him. He had sort of Dexys in there, the Specials. He had the Black Arabs, and he probably thought Vic was going to be a big songwriter. And because we really couldn't play. I mean, we were pretty. I've actually, an old friend of Vic and myself has given me a live tape of the Subway Sect for you to play because he thought the Subway Sect never get played on the radio.
I play them all the time.
Not this one, the live Subway Sect from originally when I was in it. So I'll give it to you now, you can put it on. And we really couldn't play, so I think Bernie said to Vic, if I give you, the 25 quid, will you come and I'll be your manager?
Right, okay.
And he did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, one of my favourite groups, I say that, I always say my kind of 4 favourite bands from the punk era were ATV, who you put on at the Parliament Club, and who were going to come and do a session for us, you tell me, which is great news. And The Fall, who I wasn't in at the time, and the Prefects, and the Subway Sect. They were my kind of 4 real kind of not punk band, if you like. And so it's a really interesting story. Billy Childish is involved in one way or another, isn't he?
He is. I mean, I would have to say that my interest in music had just kind of disappeared, really. I was either asleep or wanting to be asleep. I wasn't interested really in anything that was being done. And then Rob cajoled me to go along and see Billy Childish play live, and it was fantastic. It was like, all those years had passed away, and I think Billy he was certainly an inspiration to me, that you didn't have to be young, you didn't have to play the game, you didn't have to sell yourself out, you just do what you do it well, you do it with passion, and that's where it started. Rob and I had written some songs together, and then it just seemed to flow.
Yeah, I mean, while Billy Childish is a personification of everything you've just said, haven't you?
He is, yeah.
I mean, he just continues to do it. And there's a great anthology just coming out of there. It's a double CD with, obviously, not everything, because he's done so much stuff, but it's really worth having if anybody's interested out there.
Well, for me as well, I mean, Billy admit himself, he can't really play. And I said, when I first met him, I said, I can't really play. And he said, but, you sounded great. The sound was fantastic. You might not be able to play, but the sound was great. I can't really play. I just do a shape and do a pattern on the guitar, and then
your guitar playing
the same.
It reminds me of Wilco Johnson's. Obviously, not with the same technical ability, but who has? But I mean, the sound that you've got and the urgency, I just think it's really, really tremendous. I honestly do. And Matt on the bass over there, you had a very, very narrow escape. You very nearly signed to a record label that I had in the 80s, didn't you? Apparently.
That's right. Yeah. Your mate Jim met me and my bandmates, I think, in the Corner House Cafe about 3 times.
Did he have a big sheepskin coat on, a trilby, and a big cigar?
He did not. And
did he not? What a surprise!
I think we probably would have thought maybe he could have given us a deal if he had those things.
Yeah, he couldn't afford any of them probably, nor could I at that time. Right, but you were in a Manchester band called Soil, who played with the Smiths, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, we split up soon after that. We sort of played a lot around 85, 86, all the usual Manchester venues, and we supported them the night they recorded Rank in London at the Kilburn National, and then sort of disintegrated in the way that these things go. We were very anti-commercial. We didn't have, I mean, not willfully actually. It was just we didn't have it.
Didn't get it together.
Yeah. Right. But we had a great time playing the boardwalk all the time and all that stuff.
Did you said before that Morrissey sent you some fan mail?
That was it was great to think that someone like that is actually into new bands from the point of view of being a fan. There was nothing patronising about it. He said, I bumped into him once and I gave him a tape and he just said, I listen to it all the time. When can I see you play? It's just really nice.
That's great to hear, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Have you still got the letters? Because they'll be worth a fight.
I think Kev has. Yeah, Kev the guitarist was the guy that formed the band, and I joined as a singer, keyboard player, and he's probably got it in his attic somewhere. But, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've had the full history of the Fallen Leaves there, and have you got any gigs coming up? We know we've mentioned him already. The
Aardvarks. But his dad's listening.
Yeah, well, Billy Childish produced our first EP, of course.
Well, this is Ian on the drums now talking Aardvarks, and you've been going for about 20 years, haven't you?
Well, we called it a day in 2004. the other chaps in the band formed the band in '83 when they were at school.
Right. Okay.
So in 21 years, we did 1 album and 2 singles.
Yeah,
So-
you didn't. You're not exactly. I mean, you were never in danger of taking the mantle of the hardest working people in show business,
Not-
of Phil Collins, were you?
Not really, but we did get to support Bonnie Tyler in Spain.
Oh God! You see now, you just throw that like we're all playing trumps in here. He's going on about
I
Morrissey.
think
We've got
that's
Wild Billy
cooler
Childish.
than anything else you've said so far, to be honest.
Fallen Leaves had Paul Cook from the Sex Pistols playing drums. All that pales when you mention Bonnie
Tyler.
bloody Tyler.
Quite, yeah.
Gosh,
She
strike a
liked us
light.
as well.
Right, okay then. So you're going to do one more tune, and then you are going all the way back to London. So you made a real effort to get here today, so I really appreciate it. And we do need to thank Phil Wilson once again for suggesting that you come in and play for us.
Well, we like to be asked, Mark, and we do it for the love, and that's what it's about.
Excellent. Okay, well, you're going to play Trouble now, are you?
We are, yeah. This was our first single. Yeah.
This was the sort of riff that I had on tape from Joe Strummer. This one.
We've
We
nicked
found
it
on
from
a little
everybody.
tape, so-
Sorry, so where did the riff come from originally?
Well, when we was on the White Riot tour, I couldn't really play very well. So in the hotel rooms, that sort of Joe Strummer was very good to subway sets and lent us equipment and guitars when strings broke and things. And he used to show me different sort of little riffs and things. I had them on tape, and when I got all the old songs that me and Rob had, and we thought, we've got to do something new. And I said, this is a great riff by Billy Childish. It showed me how to play Stepping Stone. And Rob said, that's not Stepping Stone, that's Have Love Will Travel by the Sonics.
Sonics.
So
Right.
he said, carry on playing it, and Rob put some words to it in the melody, and we just came up with Trouble, which was the first one of the new ones we put together, really.
Okay, because how long was it that you weren't playing guitar for? You put the guitar down after Subway Sex?
Yeah, I
and you-
never, ever, ever played again from, I wouldn't like to say how long, but, from 78 till a couple of years ago.
Right,
Yeah.
that's a long time, isn't it? Okay. All right, then. I didn't even need a calculator for that. It's just a very long time. Fallen Leaves live in session with Trouble.
My mind is crumbling to a pile of rubble. My face is a mess, got a wound of stubble. My mood is labile and I'm bent up double. Oh girl, I think you got me in all kinds of trouble. I said I'm in 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 trouble. Oh girl, you got me in all kinds of trouble. Oh, when you're near me, my heart's a flutter. I say, girl, you cut me like a knife through butter. I try to talk, but I stutter. Oh, girl, I think you got me in all kinds of trouble. I said, I'm in trouble. I said I'm in trouble. I said was meant to be. I said, girl, you know we have been redeemed, but nothing's quite how it seems. Oh, girl, I think you cured all of my troubles. I said, I'm in trouble. 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 I said, girl, I think you've got all kinds of trouble. I said, girl, I think you've got all kinds of trouble. I said, girl, I think you've got in all kinds of trouble.
Yeah, have it, as some might say. The Fallen Leaves live in session with Trouble. Just great stuff from Richmond, the home of the blues, as we know. Just pulling up your MySpace here and just waiting for it to load in. But you have got some gigs coming up, haven't you? You're playing the Home Guard Club on the 4th of July in Richmond.
Yep, that's a
Okay.
special charitable fundraising event. That's pretty close to our hearts. That's to raise money for a place called Trinity Hospice in London that cared for my wife before she died of cancer. So we raise a lot of money for them, and it's much appreciated, all the support we get.
Right, okay, mate, great stuff. The 18th of July at the Parliament Club with Proxy Music.
Yep.
Portobello, and then you go through to October. If people want to find out, they can find you on, if they've got a computer, that is, they can find you on your MySpace anyway.
Phil Wilson's on
In November.
sometime, yeah.
Oh, right, okay, great, yeah, brilliant. All right, well, thanks very much, fellas. You made a real effort to come in, and I do appreciate it.
And us too.
All
Cheers,
right, then.
Mark.
Thanks a
Take
lot,
care
Mark.
of yourselves.
Take care. Bye.